Okay, today we're continuing our order of operations and we're moving on to multiple operation symbols. That means if I have brackets and parentheses within an expression, which just means a collection of numbers and operation symbols. If you have multiple grouping symbols, you want to work the inside out. So you work inside the grouping symbol and work your way outwards. Okay? We're just going to jump right into a couple of examples. So this first one here, I have two grouping symbols. I have parentheses and brackets. So the one that's on the inside is my parentheses, so that's what I'm going to do first. And then you rewrite everything. It's a lot of writing, but just be proud of your math. I mean, sometimes math takes up a lot of space. Try not to let that affect you. So I'm just rewriting everything else and evaluating what I'm supposed to do first. 12 minus 5 is 7, so that's what I put right there. Okay, so now I still have the grouping symbols of my brackets. You need to follow order of operations. So I see that I have multiplication inside, so I have to do that multiplication first. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 plus 3 bracket 2 plus 42. In each step, it's getting nicer and nicer. It's still a lot going on, but I'm breaking it down. I'm simplifying it. I'm taking something really long and trying to make it look simpler. Okay? I'm still dealing with my P for PEMDAS. So now I have to do my bracket. 2 plus 42 is 44. So I should have 4 plus 3 times 44. Remember, anytime a number is sticking to something, it means multiply. So right away I knew that this 3 is being multiplied by whatever's inside the multiple grouping symbols.
Oh, you already
44 times 3. Oh man, I forget. So I'm going to do some old school math. 132 it looks like. So this is 4. Oh, I want to underline to show I did that first. 4 plus 132. Final answer is 136. Now yours won't be this long. A lot of it won't. I just get really excited over order of ops. I like to try to challenge myself and my students. This next one's a little nicer. So it looks to me, here's grouping symbols, and this parentheses is just saying that I'm going 3 times 5. It's representing multiplication there, that's all. So I work the inside out. So my inside grouping symbols is this situation. Rewriting. Now inside that inner grouping symbol, I need to do my multiplication first. And that's the first step. So you always follow PEMDAS or order of ops within grouping symbols as well. Okay? So I still have inner grouping symbols. 15 minus 17. And what's 15 take away 17? Negative 2. Okay, order of operations can be connected to geometry when you're talking about land area and compound shapes. The problem here says the state is planning to set aside land for conservation to preserve plants and wildlife. The sketch shows the dimensions of the conservation land. Find the area of the conservation land. So anytime I see a compound shape, which are two shapes put together, I always try to break it into shapes that I know and then add them up. So right away I see this longer rectangle and I think, well, I can just go like that. Do you see that? You don't have to. Some of you could have went a different route. There's multiple ways to go. And then I see another shape. What color should I use? Maybe black. I see another shape of a smaller rectangle. Perhaps it's a square. I don't know yet. Do you see the two shapes? And then what should I do with the two shapes? After I find the area. So I'm going to find shape 1. I'm going to find the area of shape 2. What should I do with them two areas? Add them. This area plus this area is going to equal my total area. Okay? So this big rectangle here, whoops, I used red. How do I find the area of this big rectangle? Yep. So the big rectangle is 4 times 3, or shape 1 is what I use there. I sure made it look confusing. It just means rectangle 1. Let's use R. Rectangle 1 plus like rectangle 2, okay? So 4 times 3 is this area, which is 12, right? Plus, what's this then?
2.
Well, it's 2, yep. Times what?
3.
Well, if this is 3 down here, and the total area needs to be 6, this whole thing is 6, and that tells me this little part is 3. So it should be 2 times 3. Okay? Now this is where order of odds comes in. They say to multiply first, so I'm going 12 plus 6, 18 kilometers squared. Okay? You're going to have 3 compound shape problems in your homework. Strategy. Find the areas, break it into areas, usually rectangles. So break them up into little rectangles, add them all up. Okay? Find the area of the little ones and add them all up. Okay, next thing is simplifying or comparing. Comparing means bigger, less than, or equal. Okay? That's what I mean by compare. They're called inequalities. The first thing you want to do if I have a big comparison to do is simplify both sides. Remember, simplify is just a fancy way of saying, tell me what the answer is. Simplify using order of odds. And then, of course, if you're comparing, you want to know which one is bigger. Almost done. So I usually work on one side and then the other side. So I'm going to work on this left side. I see I need to multiply first. 15 times 3 is 45. Minus 2 is what? Okay. 43 is what? 2. Okay, now I'm going to move to my next one. Parentheses tell me to do this first. Remember, it's a spotlight. So it's 15 times, what's that? 1. 15. Which one's bigger? Do you know? Do you know? And put the open mouth towards the bigger one.